Today we're going to be talking about the Salomon Sense Ride 5s. First, before we get started, I just want to quickly go over some of the technical details about the shoe. First off, it has a stack height in the heel of 29.6 millimeters and the forefoot is 21.3 millimeters, coming to about an 8 millimeter drop. This shoe comes in at about 10 ounces, which is a little bit on the lighter side of average, and the price tag comes in at $140 full price. I've already seen it down to about $130 on a few other websites though. So if you look at the technical details of the shoe, it's a very average shoe. Nothing really stands out from the technical details. But there were a few things that I absolutely loved about the shoe and a few things that I did not like at all about this shoe. And I wanted to quickly go over some of those things so that you can make a more informed decision on whether or not this shoe could be a good one for you. So with all of that said, let's jump into the things that I did like about this shoe. First off, I love the quick lace on Salomon shoes, and this shoe comes with that quick lace system. It just makes shoe tying much less of a hassle, and I've never had any issues with a shoe coming loose in the middle of a run like you do when you tie a shoe, maybe. So quick lace system is always a bonus, or is always a good thing in my opinion. The grip on the bottom of the shoe is great. I don't have any complaints about it, but it's also not like one of my highlights. For me, I like a little bit more aggressive tread, but it's not like a deal breaker for me that the tread on this shoe is not as aggressive as some other ones that I've run in. The midsole has a new material that they're calling energy foam, and my experience with it is that it's actually really good. I have been blown away with the amount of protection and the amount of energy return that I get from this shoe. I've been running on local trails here that's kind of rocky and loose dirt, and I also ran in some desert terrain where I was running on some rock, and I've also run quite a bit on the road with this shoe. And all in all, I've really been happy with the feel under my foot with this energy foam. If I had to pick one thing that I have absolutely loved about the shoe, it would be the midsole, this material underneath your foot. Last of all, on my list of things that I like about the shoe, it would be the looks. I just like the way this shoe looks. I think it looks aggressive, and I like the colors. So, take that for what it's worth, my subjective opinion on the looks. Now let's move on to the things that I did not like. When I put the shoe on, I can feel the insert, this thing right here. This part of the shoe, the insert into the shoe right here, when I put the shoe on, I can feel it move a little bit. In most running shoes, I do not feel that movement when I put a shoe on. And that has translated to when I'm going downhill in the shoe that I can feel it move ever so slightly. And that hasn't been an issue for me yet. I've put a fair amount of miles on this shoe. I think I'm somewhere between 60 and 70 miles on this shoe. And it never really became a problem, but it was noticeable on the really steep downhills where I was really putting on the brakes. I could feel my foot move with the insert inside the shoe. And I could see how that could become a problem on a longer run or a race. My last thing that I really did not like about the shoe is actually a deal breaker. And I don't have, generally with running shoes, I don't usually have a deal breaker. Like something that is so wrong with the shoe that I will never run in it again. And this shoe actually had that. And that deal breaker is the tongue of this shoe. Right here, this piece right here that moves. So if you put your hand in this shoe and come right to right here where the tongue ends and it's sewn into the rest of the shoe. Because like how this is loose right here, it gets sewn in right up here, right where you can't really see it, it's sewn in underneath. Anyways, there is probably 1/4 of an inch of material, maybe even 1/2 inch of material that is loose in there. And that half of material that sticks out past the stitching, it rubs on the top of my foot when I'm going up steep terrain and it goes like this. My toes, the back of, like the base of my toes get pushed up into that piece of material, and over time on steep terrain, it really starts to bug me. There are times throughout my run, you know, a normal run on flat terrain, where it's not even noticeable. I don't even know it's there. But when I'm just walking around, oddly, and when I'm running up something steep, I can feel it. And it was never really a problem during the run, this rubbing on the base of my toes, on the top of my foot. But when I took the shoe off, I could tell that there was some potential for, there could have been issues if I had continued to run, because I could tell that it was tender right there. I could tell that there was some chafing going on during my run from that material going back and forth over that part of my foot. And so while I loved pretty much everything else in the shoe outside of the insert and that section of the tongue, the insert I could even get past. I could probably find some sort of shoe glue to tighten that insert down so it wouldn't move. But that tongue, I don't know what to do. I can't get in there and cut that material. I don't know what to do. And on I wouldn't take the shoe on a race. I wouldn't take it on a longer run. It could potentially ruin a long run if I was going up a significant amount of vertical gain and it caused some chafing, because if you've run really any distance, you know that chafing can be a big problem if you're getting blisters, or it just starts to become uncomfortable and it can really ruin a run or a race. And so for that reason, unfortunately, that was a deal breaker for me. Now, with that said, I have talked to some other people who have used this shoe and they did not have that problem. So I don't know if it's my foot shape or the way that I tighten my shoes or something like that, but all I know is that for me, it's a deal breaker. And so if I'm experiencing this, I would highly recommend anyone that's looking at this shoe go into a store and try it on before you buy it, or buy it with the good chance that you might return it if you also feel that shoe. Because like I said, I immediately noticed it when I put the shoe on and started walking. So for me, like I said, I'm not gonna run in this shoe anymore. This will be kind of like a shoe I just wear around and maybe mow the grass in it, or maybe go for short walks or hikes. But I feel bad saying all that, because outside of that, like I said, that there's so many good things to this shoe. They were right there, and that tongue just happened to be the thing that pushed it too far for me. And I can't rely on this shoe for anything longer than, 4, 5, 6 miles. And that's a big part of my training. And so the shoe will be relinquished to maybe some moderate hikes with my kids, or mowing the lawn. So, but anyways, I hope that this review gave you some valuable information so that you can make an informed decision around this shoe. And I would highly recommend, like I said, to go in and try the shoe on before you buy it, or make sure you buy it from a site that allows you to return it if you do experience the same issue that I experienced. I hope this was helpful. If it was helpful, please feel free to like this video. It really helps me know that I'm making the right content and that you guys are finding it valuable. And subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of videos like this. Thanks.